have all the strength in the world. You have the strength of the whole universe. There's nothing that can beat you. You're not powerless. You have endless power. You have the capacity to survive and overcome anything that could ever happen in your life. And you may say, that sounds great, but the truth is that you don't feel like that. So let's bring this down to an example. Imagine that you have been rejected recently, maybe in a relationship. I don't know, maybe it was a job or something about your job that you felt rejected. Like you tried to get something and someone decided you weren't good enough. So, but let's say the angle of the relationship, maybe it's more common. So someone told you, we need to have a conversation. This is not working. And you may be even panicking in the situation or feeling anxiety or feeling disoriented and confused. And this person just rejected you. And remember how that feels. It feels suddenly you are powerless. It feels suddenly that your whole world is just crashing down on you. Like nothing makes sense anymore. But what's happening? And there, for example, you can apply mindfulness and get very well through that already. Because if you will be, let's say, in the situation with this person or where you are rejected, if you look directly to the experience, you can see that it's not the end of the world. The situation is happening. Someone is being rejected. And it's like a movie. It just happens. And you have these sensations in your body where it's kind of anxiety or some nervousness of what I'm going to be doing. And it comes all these thoughts and all this confusion and panicking, let's say. But that's just an experience. So if you were a meditator, you've been meditating long enough, you may have had the chance to actually surf the situation from there. But let's assume that that's not the case, or for whatever reason, even to the best meditators, a situation in life can really get you out of your guard, let's say. And yeah, suddenly you're there. And maybe after a few days, you start feeling really bad about yourself, that you're not good enough out of that situation, out of that rejection. And it comes a deeper feeling of sense of nothing's going to work with you. There's something wrong with you. Why this person or why this job, why they rejected you. So you start feeling bad about yourself, not just panicking, not just anxious or confused. Start building up on you. Maybe summing up on previous disappointments and previous difficult situations. This sense that you're not good enough, that you're powerless, that life is just crushing your dreams and things are going, the way you hope they were. But that again, it is just an experience. It is just happening. And this is probably the easiest way to solve this whole situation, that you just see it just happening like in a movie. And you realize that as much as that is happening, that's not killing you. That's not the end. So, but yes, I understand most people are not going to be able to reach that level of equanimity in the situation to be able to observe it with detachment. So the next question is, what do this person, imagine you're in a relationship and they reject you, what are they rejecting really? Because here's the thing, it's not you. These people, this person, maybe it was a job again, they just rejected an image of you. They constructed an image of you based on their interest, based on what they wanted, based on what they think they needed. And for whatever reason, you had that profile, like your CV, and suddenly, you're not fitting their interest, something like that. And they say, okay, they reject you. But are they really rejecting you? Are you this sum of opinions they have about you? No. You're way more than that. You're not something that can be summarized. No one can really know who you really are profoundly. If they do, if they would, they will love you. So when someone rejects you, it's because you're not in their interest. But not only that, they're not really rejecting you. They're rejecting the profile, the character they create, the avatar they created from you, that are perceived from you. So when you understand that, that's very liberating because suddenly you realize they haven't rejected you. They haven't rejected you. You understand how powerful and liberating that can be? The reason why they say no, or that person suddenly decided to go into a different direction, it's not even you. What they're rejecting is not you. You are way more than that. You're way more than what they perceive of you. And you may notice that you may think, wow, I think I'm doing my best. I'm great in this relationship and giving everything. And yet this person still doesn't seem to value you. Well, that's a kind of a proof that what they're rejecting you, what they're rejecting, what they are rejecting is actually not you. It's some sort of profile they did from you. So that alone should make you feel not so personal in the situation. Like if they rejected you, so okay, fine. It doesn't change who you are. You may be very valuable. Why not may happen that it's just not your match. And maybe it's a good thing for you, even. I know this feels a little too much of a stretch when you're in the situation. You feel down, you feel powerless, you feel rejected, you feel down. And it takes a stretch of mind, but this is where I'm kind of trying to walk you through. There's actually a way you can do this if you pay attention and if you really try to clearly see what's happening. Because if you get to the situation that you see, okay, they rejected this image of me they had in their mind, then what is you? So there's this real you that you feel. It's a very deep, profound sense of self that cannot be put into words, not even a body and a mind. It's just a presence. It's just something alive. And they're just interacting with this little part of you, and they rejected it. But what does that mean in the general purpose of things? Well, that means that you have to, at that point, you have to make a decision that you should make already, which is, do you believe there is an order in the universe, or do you believe there is no order in the universe? It's a very important choice you have to make. This will be for some people deciding if there is God or there is not God. Because if you think there is order, then things happen for a reason. It's just that from the little point of view that you're seeing it, you don't know what's going to happen next. So how do you know if that rejection wasn't a great opportunity for you to find something way better? So you have to make the decision if you think the world has order, like for example, Einstein and many scientists, all of them have. That's why they look for the rules of the universe, trying to figure out the formula of the universe, because they intuitively know there is order in the universe. The same thing do religious people. They believe there is a God and there is order in the universe. But again, call it whatever, call it the unified field, call it God, call it whatever. It's very important that you make a decision. What is your standpoint? And actually, you don't really have much of a choice, because if you decide there is order in the universe, then yeah, you have to go and test it and try it and figure it out and try to prove it to yourself. But if you decide there's no order in the universe, things just happen randomly with no meaning, well, then you have a huge problem, because nothing will make sense ever in your life. Everything's going to fall apart, and everything that you try to build is going to disappear. So you go directly into nothing makes any sense. It's like existential depression. So logically, like scientists, like religious people, you just have one choice. You have to try to figure out how to prove to yourself that there is actually order in the universe. So you have to start in with that working hypothesis, like a scientist. So if you work with that working hypothesis, hopefully you get into your spiritual path that far. And you say, okay, there's an order in the universe and I want to test it. This is the great opportunity. Now that you have been rejected and things doesn't make sense anymore, then you're left with this simple choice. Do you think there's order or there's no order? Because if you think there is order in the universe, that there is you as a little person, like narrow vision into a body and a mind, you cannot foresee what's going to happen in different times, in different moments, in different places with different people. You don't understand what's behind the scenes of your life, what's coming next. No one can know, actually, from the standpoint of a person. But here's the thing, you're more than that. So there is a place, if you rest and relax behind, that you, at some point, if you practice, and this is why I insist so much, and you actually do have to practice meditation, because that's how you learn and get into contact with the reality behind the scenes of what you think your life is, which is your mind and your body. And then you can rest in this whole can find the word for it, unified field. That's it. Then you can rest in these endless possibilities beyond time and space, in this order, and seeing what's going to happen. And from that point of view, you will feel calm in the situation because you just intuitively know everything is unfolding as it has to unfold. And your personal plans and your personal opinions are just personal and they're just opinions. So when you decide to trust this ordering principle in the universe, call it God, call it the unified field, then basically in the end, you have to understand that this rejection, it may be a great thing for you. It may be the best thing for you. Because here's the thing, if you're not a match for that person or for that job, why on earth should you stay with it? Isn't it the best gift from the universe to tell you no? So what happens most of the time when you get rejected is that you're actually in front of the biggest possibilities you've ever been. Suddenly you're free. You're back into this unlimited possibilities. If you get to understand this, you see how you're going to go through this experience of being rejected and not getting things the way you want, and suddenly it feels like exciting. It's like, what's coming now? You can be peaceful. You can reject the situation with calm and take proper decisions based on, you may feel actually very, very excited about what's coming next. Like, oh yeah, instead of being depressed of what you've lost and this proves that you're not worth it. Suddenly, you're in this unified field of all the possibilities in front of you. So you say, okay, yeah, but I still do suffer. Where does this suffering come from? Because many people may get to see what I'm saying in the video, but they will still feel, yeah, but I still do feel sometimes bad about it. I feel sad about this rejection, about this breakup, about this changing job situation, like unemployment. I don't know. Put in that, whatever case or scenario you may have been, or maybe you even are. And you say, yeah, but I still do feel really bad about it. I feel afraid, confused, sad. Well, if you really get everything that I said in this video, you will clearly see that, well, here's the thing. That is just thoughts in your mind. It doesn't make any sense. It's just thoughts of a little part of the piece of a puzzle. What are the thoughts of the piece of a puzzle? Obviously, they're just seeing everything from that perspective. You cannot really understand everything and all the possibilities. So that thoughts are very limited in information and in credibility and value. So specifically, the thoughts that make you feel really bad, I can tell you already, guaranteed, they actually don't have much value. And you know this because they're making your life miserable. So it's just a point of view that without noticing, you're actually taking. It's not that the situation is bad. It's you're making an unconscious choice on what is your angle about the situation. That is, I know that makes it sound very simple, and it's very simple. But most people say, yeah, it takes me a long, it's for me, it's difficult to get rid of all that. Okay, yeah, that's why I go back to the point, meditate, because that's exactly where you will learn to do this undoing, this letting go. And if you practice that, then the situation will come and you will be able to surf it. At some point, you'll get so confident that you will start thinking like, wow, there's no tragic situation that could happen in your life that you cannot just literally enjoy it to some extent. But that implies a lot of personal work, let's say. By work, I mean letting go of your personal point of view and resting in this open awareness, this open feel of this moment. And that is a practice that leads to no person. So, who's practicing? Well, that practice, meditation, is actually not done by a person, it's the opposite. That practice is done by this unlimited potential shining through you as a person. It's a non doing where you flow as the universe. So, do in this very moment, but I encourage you, as far as you have negative, frustrating emotions in your life, which for most people is basically all the way through, makes sense to surrender your mind. That is called meditation. To see it and find the right technique for you and learn how you undo all this drama and how to tap into the effortless joy of every moment that you know and you know that is what you deserve to be living no matter what. It just doesn't matter. So if your mind gets into this negative thinking and all these negative emotions, it's because you got entangled in the personal aspect of your experience. So disentangling that means meditating, but ultimately just resting, noticing everything as it happens. And that includes external and internal experience. If you're able to do that, then there is this background of peace always in your life. Always. And what happens is just like a TV that is happening. But this space of unlimited peace and is loving. It's not just a neutral thing. It's not just nothing. It is everything. It's everything you wanted. It's all you're looking for. And it's nothing in the small, narrow TV of your person. It is it. It is your being. Just the whole thing. So I hope this video is helping someone who's in trouble, or at least it's giving you the motivation to tap into your natural capacity to be unbotherable, to be able to never be annoyed by anything ever. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen. It may get you by surprise sometimes. But if you understand this process and you every day surrender your mind and surrender all your personal world, meaning sitting to meditate, it comes a time where you will find that your resilience is endless because you are supported by the whole universe. In religious world will mean that you realize that you never had strength. The only strength you have is God's strength. So it's all the strength that there is, and it's all yours because you are it. So rest in that recognition. Sit to meditate every day, as much as you can, honestly. Don't force it. Learn techniques, learn the right way to do it. I have some courses available, but pick anything. Pick any teacher, pick any teaching. Just really go for it. let your intuitive knowledge that you are the joy you're looking for take over the actions of your mind and your body, and get into this flow of effortless surrendering enjoyment. And maybe not for everyone, but I would say 9 out of 10 people, you have to sit to meditate. That's the way you cooperate with this wholeness, this whole strength, with God, with the unified feel, with the you that is endless, your higher self, some people call it, or true self. The way you get in contact with it is when you surrender your personal activity. What does it look like? Letting just this whole universe, this unity, this God, be the only force behind your thoughts and your actions. And you feel the love that you always wanted to feel, and the peace, no matter what. Thank you for watching.